So, as we were talking about a conversation on your partnership, your collaboration with your co-founder and partners, Brian and Suki Dunham, of course, guys, we had to bring to the table none other than the master of vibrations at Bedroom Kandi, Suki Dunham.
Suki, guys.
Welcome, Suki. Thank you for taking time to sit down with us and have this conversation, because we were talking about all the toys and I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on her talking about all this stuff that you created without you sitting here. But again, the spirit of this conversation is in giving flowers. So we gave Kandi a little something. And of course, we weren't going to leave you out because you also are a queen of pleasure here at Bedroom Kandi. And we put a little something on the bottom of each of you guys' shirt. And yours also says Master of Vibrations. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's because Suki literally is the person who pioneers tech, right? And not just tech. Let me just say, not limited to, but if you use one of our toys and you enjoyed it, you owe this woman a huge thank you. Let's just say that. So Suki, I wanted to ask if really quick, you could give us a crash course on your background in not just the technology and converting over into designing all of these amazing products that you have, and even just selecting, knowing how do you spot the quality, all those types of things. Can you tell us a little bit on how you guarantee quality at Bedroom Kandi?
Sure. So, I mean, the one thing that I will say is I came from the tech industry, actually not the adult industry, so to speak. And during that time, I was lucky enough to work at Apple in Cupertino for almost a decade.
Wow.
8 years. And in that time that I was there, I was part of worldwide product marketing. So it was all about products. And I learned a whole lot. And so when the time came that Brian and I were going to build and make our first product, our first vibrator, you know, all of those little things that I learned at Apple came into play. And I was there at a time when Jobs was there, and anybody that knows that man or anything about him knows he was a perfectionist. And so I just learned a lot about details, product details, I think is really what it's about. And the customer experience, you know, at that time, I think he might have been the first person to talk about the open box experience. What's it like when you bring home that headset or that computer and you open it up for the first time? How do you feel about it?
Right.
And nobody really, or very few companies at that time, had paid that level of attention and detail to toys.
No, that's the fact. I mean, if you guys look at this one really quick, you can see in the packaging that there is no shortage on making sure that the quality of, like you said, before you even get to your product, it's like very sexy.
Right. That's something that we discussed a lot when we first started working together. Just the quality of the packaging. What does it look like when you get it? Because, I mean, realistically, you could sell the product just the way it looks from the outside of the box. Or you can really not sell it from the way it looks on the outside of the box.
Right.
You know, if it looks like a piece of junk, then people are going to treat it like a piece of junk. But if it looks like, oh, what is this? This is, you know, it makes people receive it differently.
It does.
I remember, Kandi, you looking at the kind of original kind of design concept presentation, and there was a lot of kind of like a Chanel feel to it is the only way I can describe it. And you were like,
or better yet,
you were
Lux
really liking that.
feel.
So
I think Lux.
Well, Lux was one of the words that we used to design to describe our products. Because you know, you got to think, like I said, when we first started our products, it was not like the norm for what I would say, like, you know, people did not look at a woman who was your wife, your mom, your, you know, to be the person that's the face of an adult toy.
Right.
Right. So it had to be something that represented me, And I feel like I represent a lot of everyday women who, we're business women, we're moms, we're wives,
all the hats.
Yeah, and you want to feel like you don't have to hide. What you remember back in the day when you go to the adult store, you gotta hide it, put it in the paper bag. You don't want to.
And it's not just me, but all the adult stores, for them to be selling what they sell, they were the most illuminated places on the block. Like,
right? Why was that?
It never made sense to me. So, in the spirit of that, I thought about in this conversation, if we're going to talk about pioneering pleasure, we starting off with that conversation. Not only did I want to have Suki join us before we got into some of these toys, but I also wanted to invite another person because we've heard a lot about this from the conversation tone of women. And I came across some psycho guy one day who actually decided that he was going to take it upon himself to be the controversial guy, to be like, no, we deserve to be heard.
That's right. I got nipples too.
I got nipples too, you said?
I got nipples too. Play with mines this time.
Is it okay for us to say that we met before in the past, but had nothing to do with adult conversation or products
so
or anything?
crazy.
I was going to try to talk to her. I used to work on the show with her.
This
But
is new
I'm
to
like
me.
intimidated because she is cast on the show and I work behind the scenes on the show.
Yeah, but
I'm
that
like-
was taboo. But then Todd said, "Fuck it."
I'm watching the show like, I didn't know that was an avenue.
Well, this is evidence, guys, that
You
when it
shoulda-
comes
you
to
shoulda just
you
went
miss
for it.
100% of the shots you don't take. And we've been talking about opportunity and all that stuff, baby. You gotta seize it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but he worked in production on our show.
Full circle.
Yeah,
Full circle.
And y'all
Full
both
circle.
ended up in the business of pleasure.
That's right. And even
Look
back
at that.
then, you were just starting Bedroom Kandi. Like it was like a podcast or something. It was like a
beginning.
YouTube or
Candy
something.
Coated Nights
Candy
was
Coated
it.
Nights. That's right.
Yeah.
And I was like, because when I met you, I'm like, wow, this is Kandi. I would never think you was. And I'm looking at you on like YouTube or something like, is she dead ass talking about sex like this? Like,
But that was the thing. It was like a lot of people felt like that was so controversial for me to be speaking openly about sex. Like Don Juan used to be like, this is not a good idea. Why do you want to do a sex storyline? This is going to ruin you for other brands. But what I had told myself was like, at that time, there were only a few black faces that they used to represent certain brands, right? And it was like everybody wanted to be picked to represent these brands, all these big brands. But I had to just say to myself, so what if this is going to make them not want to pick me? Because they probably weren't going to pick me anyway. I need to go and get my own brand, build my own brand up, and then it's going to
Then
be
you
what I want.
ain't gotta worry about who's choosing you because you're the one choosing.
I'm chose and I'm choosing. That's what's happening. And I feel like it started a revolution of thinking. Like it changed. Well, I even had some people from, I don't want to say the name of the magazine, but they said, you are like the pioneer. You revolutionized it for the African American community. And I was like, why you say that? And they were like, well, before you start speaking openly about sex and everything, there was like nobody else was doing it. Everybody felt like it was hush hush. We have such, background of religion and everything in our community that'd be like, oh, you can't act this way, you can't do that in public. And now here I am being just a woman that, people mutually respect me like I respect others, but I have no problem with saying I am a woman who enjoys sex and I should be able to talk about it. And I should be able to have a great sex toy, and you should too.
Everybody out here passing them out like Oprah give out cars.
You get a toy.
And I think what you just said is commonly something I've heard you say. And like you said, I want to be able to say I'm a woman and I enjoy sex. And then you came out and said,
I got nipples too.
So for those who don't know, we didn't even say your name yet, right? We should probably tell the people who you are.
I'm sorry.
Right? No, you're good because that's how you know this is authentic conversation, right? It's a vibe, but really what it was is when I met Tahoe, I actually met him at a sex expo, right? For the first time. And a friend of mine was like, you guys got to meet. And we're also both special needs parents. We both have children on this autism spectrum. So it was another connecting dot. And, my friend was just talking him up and I was like, all right, well, introduce me to the guy. And you guys were actually doing live
That's right.
interviews
Live
for your
pod.
podcast. And so you have a podcast named Hard or Soft, right? And it's now Hard or Soft Show.
That's right.
Started as a podcast, but now a show because it's grown to a
has.
really, really phenomenal
has.
following.
Um,
Tell us about
Well,
Forming a platform.
I started doing podcasting early on, right? And I was staying in a safe space. COVID happened. I met a young lady right before COVID, and we were using condoms. So I'm at her house. She was the nicest girl. I took her out to dinner. She was so quiet and meek. And, I had to really try to get her to talk. She don't talk much. So we at her house. She's like, condoms in the drawer right there. I go over to open the drawer, and it's like 17 dildos in there. There's like a big black one, a little rainbow one. There's butt plugs, this and that. And I'm looking at her. She's on the bed. I'm like,
it's the quiet girl.
what the right? And then I look on the edge of the bed, just like cuffs on hanging off the side of the bed. Now this room just turned into a whole dungeon. I'm like, where am I? And that was a moment where I had to realize either I gotta get with it or get the fuck out, because she's used to her shit. But so that kind of opened me up to exploring, because before that I thought everything was just about my dick.
Right.
Okay.
Everything was right here.
Get it in and out.
You know what I'm saying? But it got me open to exploring and doing other things. And then COVID happened. My friend was on Instagram live, and he used this. I ran out of gifts to give all my friends. I give all my friends gifts for Christmas, and I happened to have like a vibrator for men. And I gave it to him because he was like into sex a lot. I was like, yo, here, just take this. And this guy was on COVID on Instagram Live using the damn thing.
On live?
COVID was crazy. But he
Twitter
wasn't
is that
actually.
people still be doing crazy stuff on Twitter right
A
now.
lot
was
of
crazy.
that stuff. It was
He was using it on himself?
Yes. And
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
yo, oh my God, yo, I'm
is
freaking
not
out in
how
the
to
crib.
do
I'm
it.
like, this is not what I thought. But then I stopped because the hearts was going up. The hearts. People was like, show me more. Da-da-da. All the girls is in the comments.
Oh, my
This man
God.
ain't even have no followers. And he had like 80 women in here going crazy over him using this sex toy. And now I'm like this. I like exited out, but I sat back and I was like, this is interesting. Women really like that. Women like when men use toys. Women like when men are freaky. Like, I had no idea.
That was unheard of for you?
Well, where I come from, it's kind of like looked down on for men to be freaky. You're not supposed to be too freaky. Anything that goes past the line, men look at you a certain way and women look at you a certain
When
way.
you say a certain way, are you toggling the line of if guys go too far left, they might
Like if guys like anal play.
like sexuality.
Anything
Okay.
like that, you off the skit. You can't be like, you ain't
can't
in a
be
cool
straight.
club no more. Right. You ain't straight.
Right.
And that's really what it was. And so I was like, yo, let's start a show where I can be the guy that's really not knowledgeable about that, and you can be your freaky self. And that's
Who,
how
your
Hard or
friend?
Soft. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And that's how Hard or Soft
How to
started.
format forms. So you were the crazy freaky friend who was getting busy.
And now
on
I'm the
live.
freaky friend.
And
Wait,
now,
so
I was
you're
about
the
to
freaky
say.
friend?
Yeah, now I
What
tried damn
happened
near
to the
everything.
other friend?
Oh, he's almost engaged and stuff. And he went and moved on and did some
So
other
he
stuff.
didn't want to talk about it no more.
I'm pretty sure he's doing him.
He's still, he's still in the lifestyle.
But he moved to like
and
LA,
things like-
yeah. So
Yeah, started a new life and things like that with his, he's about to be a settled man. But so something you said, okay, a lot of it was unheard of, and you opened this drawer and it looked like this.
it was way worse than this. It was
Okay.
it was
Like, if I
like the
added another
bedroom
bag.
candy warehouse. And I really didn't even have much experience. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to have this one dildo. It was y'all remember the rabbit? It had pearls on it, and he used to twist and it had the thing. And
Yeah.
I had it in a little Michael Jordan case, and I used to go to this girl crib with it in my box. It was all, I didn't know about it being clean or nothing. I didn't have toy cleaners, so I'm sure. Sorry to whoever I gave that infection
We
to.
gonna
Probably.
make sure that
'Cause
you
gotta
like
clean your
other boys
toys.
say-
Cleaners.
Yes.
You gotta clean your toys. I didn't know
You didn't know
anything
about it, so you,
know
were
what I'm
kind of
saying?
like learning as you went along.
Yeah, but now
Well, at least you were bringing her a toy, though.
Right.
There's that.
That
I
sounds
was
like
always
a
freaky.
My
could
first
so-
toy, it was my. I had an older boyfriend.
Oh,
Okay.
and it was introduced to you
And
by.
He brought it over,
Oh,
Yeah, he would go down on me and use the toy.
and use the toy.
and it was probably unboxed too.
No, I was with him when he bought it.
Mine was unboxed, but it was in a little Jordan case, so I don't know.
That's so interesting. So even though you feel like the conversation around pleasure wasn't really that focused on men, I think actually, well, what I'm discovering in this conversation is you were introduced to toys by a man. I was introduced to toys by a
And
man.
me.
No way.
And you as well. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brian bought me my first vibrator.
her husband, who's the co-founder. That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Very interesting to think that. So that means that there are men who are pro her pleasure, and despite all those things. What would you say? Before we dive into some of the toys, what would you say to men who are closed-minded about toys? Because you, like you said, you fell into this world, but now you're not there anymore.
Not, what do you mean? Not there?
Meaning like he wasn't really knowing anything about toys, and now he's saying he's the freaky friend who.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm all into toys now. I mean, I just got into it like I want to explore every part of her body. I want to any and every level I want to take it to. Any and every level. And this is a person I'm dedicating my life to. Like, why can't I be vulnerable with this person? Why can't I be open with this person? Like, what am I saving that for? Because when I'm by myself, I do all kinds of stuff. I'll be in the bed shaking by myself. Why can't I do that with her? And I think that, bro, because I'm telling you no lie, my knee go back this way when I'm by myself. I want to be able to experience that, and I want to see her do that. I want to have her at her most highest climax ever. And I feel like she is able to explore that when she's by herself. She has all of these vibrators and dildos, but most men is not going to bring that out. Most men are scared. Like, we use those as like, those is a competition. No, these are my friends. Bring them all out. I lay them down one by one. We're going to use this one, then we're going to use this. Stay right there. We're going to use this one. Stay right there. Don't move. And you know what I'm saying? I'm getting to it.
Wait, that just made me curious. How many toys have you used at a time? Like in one experience, not like separate, but like.
I mean, I had a finger vibe once, and then I also had the one of the ball dildos. Am I doing too much on here?
No. He's talking about the one that looks like a massage.
Right.
Exactly that.
A wand.
That's right.
That's
Then of
a
course
wand.
we keep the Hasitachi on deck.
Well, over
You know
here
what
we
I'm saying?
use mic drop.
We got the massage oil. Don't forget the massage oil. You gotta get all in on that too. So yeah, I'm laying it all out, and that's just one play. You also got your floggers and then your roses and stuff like that. So
Different things that you
got to
can
come with different
incorporate.
game. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to have a little fun because
I like
I know
fun.
you have experienced many, many toys, but this is going to to be your first time
I've never seen
experiencing
any of these.
a
Is that a
lot
tangerine?
of Sookie's brain.
It's a peach.
It's a peach. It's a peach. It's a peach.
Love Georgia.
And you're gonna actually get to see the depths of Sookie's mind and right about now. But we've got some fun things, some interactive things up here, and then also there's a product here that is designed just for guys. So I would love for you to get your hands on it, feel it, touch it, and kind of tell us how your first time experience
into
of that
it.
is.
I'm into it.
So I'm gonna let you actually pick. Looking at the table, where you might want to start.
I want to see listen, I used to live in Atlanta, so I'm trying to see what that peach going to do. What's that peach going to do? I love me some peaches. What is that?
Feel it in, get a feel for it.
But what does you do?
You can change the settings too.
No, the nipples first.
Listen,
You can put it up underneath.
You've been
gloves,
focused on those
Oh.
nipples of
Right.
yours.
where am I supposed to put this?
Come
Don't
up
listen. Is this a
many
family-friendly
times.
show? What is
A
this?
couple of times
So,
during
Sookie,
this.
can you tell us a little bit with the peach? Because obviously we know that we sitting here, what are the original
nice.
peaches, right? When you designed this, I need to understand because, guys, how does it feel like them?
Very soft, very cuddly, warm, rubbery. Like it's
Like a
not
peach?
hard at all. Yeah, it actually is just like a peach.
I like a peach, solid, but also got
Yes.
a little shake to
Yes.
it. And y'all don't even know the toy is on. It's on. I didn't realize it was on until you came close to the.
And y'all need to because ain't nothing more. If you got kids in the crib, ain't nothing gonna ruin the vibe like a loud vibrator. So
Yes.
one that's quiet and still does the damn thing. That's
It's
big for
great.
real.
But this one packs one of the technologies that we also have in another one of our products. And I would want to, Suki, if you could tell them a little bit about our Comfort Tech technology and our body quake motors that exists in a couple of our products, like the Peach.
So the Peach was a 10th anniversary product that we decided to do in celebration of our Georgia Peach here.
Yes.
And it was really fun designing it. I actually normally don't like spherical toys because you don't know where the button is. They move around in your hand.
Right.
So
But that's
for
not really-
instance, as something as little as, you can see this on here where this leaf sits, that was purposeful. Because you can see how my finger just sits on top of here. And that helps me dictate where the button is. Because when the lights are out and things are hot,
You gotta be able to feel
you
for
have
it.
to be able to feel for it. If this didn't have that there, you wouldn't be able to see. You wouldn't know that. And then what you were mentioning, we have the Comfort technology. That's this like nice cushion, right? A lot of toys out there have a lot of stiffness to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's good. Like if you have a G-spot vibe, you like having that stiffness because you can put the pressure on the G-spot. You can apply the pressure that you need. But sometimes you want a little softer. And so the Comfort Tech just makes it nice and
So punchy.
luxurious and wonderful. So, and then we have our body quake motor in here, which we have also in our Royal treatment line.
I'm gonna actually reach and grab because now you're speaking my middle name when you start talking about that treatment. So I'm
The
gonna
Royal
grab it.
treatment and Peach Buzz both have, or both of those lines have the motor in them. They're very rumbly. A lot of people love a good rumbly motor. If you think back to your first vibrator that you probably bought for $19 or whatever, had that really high resonating motor, it just feels like a tickle. It barely does anything. So the purpose
that thing
behind
was
the
a
motor
V4.
quake or motor is, or the, is really to get that nice, strong, deep resonating vibration. What's interesting about all of us is we all of our bodies respond to different resonating motors. So the other cool thing I think, and what we've tried to do as we think about developing toys and launching toys at Bedroom Kandi is to really hit the needs of all different types of users, because we all have different anatomies and we all need different things to like get off. And so, we have the light motor for the person that couldn't take the rumbly motor, and then we have the rumbly motor, and then we have mic drop.
Mic drop,
Right.
which is in its own category all by itself.
Can I get that? That thing felt so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just to kind of show the Royal treatment vibe, there are more than one in that collection, but this one right here is the Queen. And I'm just gonna cut it on real quick because honestly, with Queen, you can see,
Oh,
you saw
my
that
goodness.
jump. Did you see that jump,
God
right?
damn.
So this is the low setting. And this one has a total of 10 settings, right? 5 of which are, the incline. So low to like the next tier. So there's 5 of those. And then we have 5 pulsation patterns. But this has that same, you see that soft, bendy, cushiony feel. So this kind of treats it like a tongue. Now I'm going to put it on a setting where y'all can really.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
That thing like a push.
Look at that. It is
Jesus.
That thing going so fast, you miss
right. And so you
blurry.
got jumps. You can see the
That thing is
vibration.
going
It's not
through
that many
time.
things that you can see the vibration on. But Queen is one of the toys that holds a special place in my heart because I done found 5 or 6 different ways to play with this one right here.
Tell the people how you play with it.
Okay, with Queen, for starters, we can put that right.
No, not while you, girl, you nasty.
But I like that with your partner, you can just lay it down over your clitoris. And because it's curved with the design, it'll naturally just hit your clit while your partner might be penetrating. Because like you were saying, some people doing the 2-finger thing ain't doing nothing. But if you have a partner who can do that and really hit them points, don't let them go. But you can use it there. I'm always thinking about my partners that I play on both sides, so, you know. But you can use this under the balls also, like an extra tongue. Like if you can't put your mouth down there and on the tip at the same time. So if you use that there, they get a tongue on the back and they get the tongue on the top. So that's another way that you can kind of play around with it. So there's a lot of, and it's not intimidating. I don't know. Do you feel intimidated when you see this?
Nah, I want it down there. Listen, she turned me out with that. The head with the thing under the balls and rubbing that area. Fellas, if you ain't do it yet, you wildin'. You wildin', bro. I was saying things I didn't even know I was talking. I was just like, yo. And that looks very comfortable.
It is. You can hold and feel it.
But
before we pass, we got a couple more things we want to play with. But I really wanted to have fun with this next one. So, Kandi, you was talking about how one of the things you love most about Suki is that they had already had a music responsive vibe. Well, we have come a long way in music response. Now, people have heard about panty vibrators, right? And I know that there are a lot of different ones out there, but there are not any that's doing what Bedroom Kandi's vibes are doing. And that this is our groove. So just so you guys can see, it comes with a panty and it ties on the side, which...
You do not have to use the panties that it comes with. It ties on the side so it can be one size fits all.
Yeah, so it can fit a lot of different body types by just tying it.
It goes into your panty pocket. Okay, so every pair of panties has like a little pocket
slit
in the pot in the seat of it. So you just sit this right on in there. We'll turn it on first.
And cut it on real quick because I actually want to get this into Tahoe's hands, since this will be his first time interacted all together. And there we go. So Tahoe, I'm going to pass this to you, and I'm just showing everybody on camera. You would put it in, but you want to make sure when you put it in, when you get your groove, you insert it this way so that this portion could be closest to your clitoris, right? Upright, and that's how you'll get that direct vibration on you. But I want to kind of put it in front of you because I want people to be able to see what's going to happen.
With what? What's going to happen?
Just sit
This
down
sits
in front of
a
you.
woman's panties.
Now we are standing.
Put it where?
We're sitting here.
Okay.
Just sit it right there. You can hold it, or you can sit it on the table, whichever you want to do. Sit on the table. Now we are sitting here with a Grammy award-winning vocalist. All right, listen, right? So I have to ask you, Kandi, can you sing to it? Can you talk to it?
Bruh.
When you're out in the club, don't think I'm not. Even when you're out making love, don't think I'm not.
Look, this move the
You talk
tangerine.
now and laugh so it keeps going.
This one is literally sound responsive.
Wait,
So
you talk to it?
you can talk
Well,
to
You
it.
can sing?
You can talk to it or you can play music for it. But you see it reacts to his sound.
Pretty much. It is sound responsive. So we took sound response to a
sound
whole.
Turn that off.
So I can also tap. If you look at the remote, it has like a few different functions. We can also tap it. So anytime I press it, it jumps. Look, it's traveling.
So if you just want to walk around, one thing that, again, fun game to play with your significant other is to go out to a restaurant, let them wear those panties.
This thing's strong.
And then you just hit the
Tap
button
it whenever you're
you
ready.
feel it.
Yep.
It's mad strong.
I've even had fun where when the waiter comes, I've hit the sound button. So when they ask for the order, you say, I would like a, but it also has preset
That's
patterns.
fire.
So you can use a preset, and when you press one of the presets, it'll just vibrate on a preset pattern. Anytime you want to stop it, I just tap that post button once and it stops it. But as you guys saw, you can literally talk to the right? So that is one of our really fun toys. But we also have one of my personal favorites, because this one right here, keep that thing snatched. Thank you, Suki. Because thanks to you, I got a coochie fax. You people say Carfax. But I got a coochie facts.
You have a coochie. I like that. I
You know
never heard
how
that.
you're buying a new car, you can go and check the history and see if
How
that
we gonna
thing.
check your history?
Because with this one, there's an app, right? Now, there's 2 apps that you can use. One of them is to kind of use it like a play where you can do some of that fun stuff, sing to it, talk to it, use preset patterns, and you can do it from your phone. And your partner...
Play your music library,
Yes,
too.
your music library, it could connect straight to your Apple Music or Spotify or your Apple Watch,
Yep.
right? If
Your
you have
Escape
one.
album.
Exact.
Playing Kanye in your box.
It
That's
could be
crazy.
a little secret.
Right.
And that allows you to use the app to control it, similar to how the microphone does on Groove. However, because it is app control, my partner could also take control from anywhere in the world. So you could be in another country and I can connect. I can add you would create an account and I could connect to you. And once I invite you to take control over my toy, no matter where you are, you can now control my pleasure, right? But what I love about it, when I said the coochie facts, is because if you go into our Tassel app, right, it is a personal fitness gym for your vajayjay. Okay, so the app, you guys can see there's a bunch of different workouts,
See
right?
what you got going on.
What are you doing
And
with the
with
what
these,
doing?
you can go ahead and start a workout, right?
You gonna
And
work out
I'm gonna
the
turn on the
vagina?
volume real quick so you
Yeah, it's
guys.
to tighten your muscles.
And when you press it, oops, let me see.
Then relax. Just follow along with the vibrations.
I'm gonna follow along. All right.
Squeeze.
And when I squeeze, you see
Oh,
that
that's
purple
fire.
bar is showing how tight I'm grabbing, right? So if she says squeeze,
Oh,
if I
that's
squeeze
fire.
real good,
Relax.
if you're not squeezing too good, it's gonna look
Okay,
like that,
Take a break.
right?
Not
So we're
much.
gonna pause her. We'll be back. But basically, this is training your pelvic floor to stay tight.
That's
And then
fire.
on top of it, you end up with a full dashboard in there as well, where you can actually see your vagina's progress. So it's showing you how is your max strength, right? How strong is your pelvic floor? How good is your control? How good are you at keeping
So
that
what's
floor?
the strongest that you've ever been able to squeeze with your
Well, my max strength is up there. Okay. Now, what I'm working on right
coochie,
now.
not your hand.
Yes. With my coochie, I'm at 84 on max strength, but I got all my hearts filled over there. Okay. All my hearts filled. Listen, baby's in here. Babe, is it snatching, baby? No. But seriously, it shows you guys your endurance, how well you are at holding it for a long time. How when you initially grab, what's that tightness like initially, and are you able to maintain that tightness? So it literally helps you see what your fitness level is like for your pelvic floor, which is a part of your body you typically can't see the results of, right?
Right.
So this one right here is, and again, in the spirit of designing tech that does amazing things, Suki has really, when we say we got stuff at Beverly Kitty, y'all only just saw like 3 or 4 things, right? So those are some of our remote and app controlled toys. This one here is an investment.
So
This one
you
here is
got to
an
make
investment.
something that attaches to my shit, so that it shows me the progress that I'm making on the vagina. I need that. All right. Sometimes
Okay.
women be lying. All right. I want it to attach to her pleasure and let me know, am I hitting it or not? Okay. I
Okay,
need you to
so you want to know if the muscle is
contracting. Am I hitting the G spot?
You
And
want
maybe
you want the
give me a
same
little something,
information.
a screen, so that when I hit it, the screen lights up, so I know to stay right there.
There's like an explosion,
Yes.
fireworks.
Yes. Yes.
So before we left, I did want to do one more thing. So of course, if we're gonna be over here getting you excited around all these amazing things that you've seen,
better
we also
not.
know that you are newly engaged, right? So giving it up to you, we know that her pleasure is being prioritized, but we're gonna have you sit down without making sure you left with some candy.
Ooh.
So if you could really quick just open that box,
No way. For
box.
take
me?
a peek at.
Suki, what you did? Suki, what did you do?
Oh, you want me to break the
find out.
sticker in the bottom? Oh, you got
Well,
it.
you know,
Never mind.
I'm-
Excuse
I'm
me.
thirsty.
We see you know how to get into some things.
I know how to get in some box, right? Oh, look at the packaging. It's,
We very big on that packaging, y'all. So you could probably just throw some of it to the top.
Eros. Oh, yo, I love this. You gave me a sample at Exotica, and I love the. They don't just make sex toys. Like y'all
No,
make things for the body. I think it was a massage or it was
And
a
you're
body
one of
oil
those
for
guys
men.
who we know is very
You know
good
that.
on your care.
You know that.
So we wanted to give you something. For
Yo,
yourself.
they laced me. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is all of this?
What is that?
This is called R&B by Kandi Burst.
Yes.
It's a... Sorry, I didn't mean to get so excited. It's a cock ring.
Yes, and
love
just so
cock
you
rings.
know, that bullet is detachable, so you can use it independently or within the ring, right? So that's one.
I love cock rings. I know we have got to leave, but all right, I'm sick.
No, I think everybody should have one.
Yes,
Yo, I
that
love
last
cock
thing
rings.
that you got over there in the corner is our
Yes.
grooming kit. Yes. So this is our BK for Men grooming kit. And just so you guys know, we do have a really extensive men collection. There's some beard oil in there, some trimmers, some things to keep that beard maintained.
Thank you so much, y'all.
And nice. And we've also wanted to make sure, yes, that's a little
I think
edible.
say chocolate.
It's the edible lube.
It's edible. Oh, that thing that you was talking about in your throat.
Yeah.
So that when she sucked dick, she could...
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep.
I'm not
You
supposed to
you
talk
were paying attention. I like that.
Yo.
But we also put a warming lube in there, right? And
Warming lube.
warming lube, so that one will warm as you use it
With friction.
with friction.
Is this that
And-
thing over there?
Yes, I'm gonna show it really quick, and then so you guys can see what he got, and then I'm gonna let him go off and enjoy his pleasure.
Sexy.
Right. So this one right here is our sidekick, and this is a brand new one. See, Kandi, I told you they was new. And what you got is a pleasure sleeve.
Ooh.
Okay. It is
Oh,
closed
she gonna have a
ended.
ball with that.
You put a little lube in the
Little
inside.
lube on the
and then
inside.
put
She gonna
have
you
a
in
ball
the
with
inside.
that.
Yes,
I'm
and
telling
this is
you.
really good for if you want to get the hand going up top, but you want to use your mouth down. Y'all get the picture. So you have all of these amazing things to go
do.
care for yourself, right?
But y'all need to understand
and your
something.
partner.
They got body spray, they got body wash, head to toe, hair and body balm.
And it's pheromone enhanced. So when you put that on, it's gonna smell one way, but after about a minute, it'll change and it'll only smell like you. Nobody
need
else
that.
will smell like you.
That's right.
All right. So we want to thank you for being another pioneer of pleasure. We want to thank you, Suki, for helping us continue to create pleasurable experiences with all these. I think we calculated you are responsible for millions of orgasms with the amount of toys we've sold.
Shout out to
And
Suki.
we want to give it up and say thank you, Kandi, for being the pioneer, the queen of pleasure. The queen. Not just here at Bedroom
That's
Kandi,
right. That's right.
but period. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys watched these conversations, these episodes, and you were curious about getting into the business of pleasure, we want you to head over to www.bedroomcandy.com/join. In addition to that, if you're interested in hosting one of our parties, you can head over to connect with a consultant, but you can also shop independently on the website as well. We do recommend you connect with someone though, because you'll have a personal concierge for your pleasure.
Yes.
You will see you again soon. Come back and tune in on Mondays for the Business of Pleasure, hosted by myself, brought to you by Bedroom Candy Boutique Parties.
Bye.